Okay, folks, so I think we'll get started, and then if anyone else joins, they can just join when they arrive. So welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Samantha, and I work on the Algonquin College events team. And I am joined today by Jackie from Silver 7 Martial Arts. And you have joined us for Street Smart, a virtual self-defense class, which is being hosted by Algonquin College and Silver 7 Martial Arts. So folks, before we get started, I'm just going to go over a few housekeeping items. So to stay connected to the Algonquin College community, please be sure to tune into our other live virtual events that you can find through our events calendar, which we'll link in the chat now if you would like to check that out. Today's event is equipped with closed captioning if you need it. So to turn on closed captioning, you can press the CC icon along the bottom of your Zoom toolbar. If you have any questions for Jackie throughout the event today, you can raise your virtual hand to ask a question out loud. I'll unmute you, and then you can speak out loud to ask your question, or you can type your question into the chat and I'll read it out loud to Jackie from there. This event is being recorded and it will be available to watch on the AC Hub on demand website in the coming days. And we'll share a link to that in the chat now. All right, folks, so I now have the pleasure of introducing you to Jackie from Silver 7 Martial Arts. Silver 7 Martial Arts is one of Ottawa's best martial arts gyms. They offer classes for people of all ages, experience levels, and walks of life. The folks at Silver 7 believe that martial arts is much more than just self-defense or physical activity. It's a path to a healthy, fulfilling lifestyle and community. So today, Jackie's going to lead us through some very basic self-defense techniques and how to apply them to our real life. So Jackie, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate having you here, and you can take it away, Jackie.
Awesome. Hey guys, so as Samantha said, my name is Jackie and I'll be facilitating the activity today. So I just want to start off by giving you guys a brief introduction of myself. So I'm 20. I'm in the University of Ottawa, so I can relate to you guys a little bit on trying to stay safe as a student, or because Algonquin College is actually right by my house. You guys have like the Starbucks, you guys have College Square, so it just be mindful and stay safe in that area. Or if you decide to go downtown, or if you're somewhere walking at night and you don't feel necessarily safe, I'm just here to try to give you guys some basic skills that you guys can use in your in certain situations. So I've been doing martial arts since I was 4 years old, but I didn't really get into it at that age because I was just there because my mom was like, yeah, you should move because you have way too much energy, get out of the house. Okay. But so I did martial arts and then I did Taekwondo. And then after a while, kind of fell out of it. I tore my ACL and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just kicking people and it's not fun. Silly as that sounds. So then I went to high school and Silver 7 came to my high school, was like, hey, we're doing this self-defense. And I was like, oh, I love this jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. And I actually felt like a good, I was getting a good basis of how to defend myself instead of just, oh, I'm kicking to kick, I'm punching to punch, I'm running to run, I'm moving to move. Yes, it's all good stuff, but I found that it was really more applicable as I started getting more into it. And there's a situation that happened to me when I was 16. So I was waiting at the bus stop, just waiting on Green Bank Road, just waiting for the bus so I could go to classes at night, to my martial arts class. And so I was always someone that was super aware of my surroundings. I just always look around. And so this particular night, I was a little out of it. I was tired, long day at school. And so what happened is I'm waiting at the bus stop and someone comes behind me and taps me on the shoulder. And it's about 6 o'clock, it's December, it's dark out. And if you wanted to approach me, you could have said it, hey, can I ask you a question? But this man came and touched me on the shoulder. And my first instinct wasn't, oh, I'm gonna wait for him to grab me. It's, I gotta get out of it before something happens. So I turned around and I elbowed him in the face. Turns out he just wanted to know when the bus was arriving. But I avoided a situation that could be potentially dangerous to my life. So essentially, my goal here is to tool you guys. So what whenever a situation does occur or something does happen, you guys can be like, oh, I reacted, or, oh, okay, I know that I need to get out of this before something happens. Because it could be something as silly. It's the middle of the day, you're walking down the street and someone starts looking at you and getting in your personal bubble. It's also COVID, so like getting in the personal bubble should be something that's happening in general right now. But for those of people that just aren't aware that people do start to get in your bubble, they start trying to do things, and you're like, I'm gonna try to avoid this as much as possible, right? So my goal is just give you guys some little things here and there. So like the first thing that I want to go over, okay, I'm just gonna put a sweater on in my backpack, just so you guys, just like street etiquette. So a lot of the time you'll see people with their hoodies up, all tied up, like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody today, which, you know, totally okay. You're allowed to be in this situation, okay? And I have my backpack on. Maybe I'll have my earphones in. I'll be walking down. And it's gonna, like, I don't look very engaged. I'm not really aware of my surroundings. And so this is where you're the most vulnerable. You have your earphones in. You can't hear anything because you're rocking to some Green Day or whatever music you decide to listen to. So you're rocking out, you're just chilling at the bus stop, or you're walking at home and you're like, I don't want to be approached. So you shut yourself down. But that is not what you want to do. You want to have your hood down. You want to have maybe one earphone in because, you know, music, it's not a bad thing to have some sound around you, but one earphone in, the other one out, so you're aware, oh, there's a car passing by. Okay, they didn't stop, that's okay, but I know that there was a car passing by. There's someone sweeping their deck. I can see that they're sweeping their deck. They're not near me, but at least I'm aware that it's there. Or, you know, I know that there's a bus stop there, so there's people waiting, so maybe I can cross the street, go on the other side. Like, there's so many different things you can do to avoid situations. So one of the first ones is just to be like aware of your surroundings. So yeah, you can have your backpack. There's nothing wrong with having a backpack. You can carry everything. You just have to know if someone's behind me to like distance yourself from them so they don't grab your backpack, because then you're like, oh my God, they grabbed my backpack. Okay. So you just want to be aware of everything so you can avoid situations. And there's another thing like people don't think about is you should also be aware, like, hey, there's a sidewalk here and there's a curb. So if someone passes beside me, they can push me onto the street. So I want to stay on the side where there's a grass, right? So there's just little tips and tricks here that you can do in your everyday life that just makes you more aware of what's going on. Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments so far, or is everyone good? Okay. These are also things that you guys probably have heard very often, to be aware of your surroundings, but I just want to remind you guys because it is important. So yeah, so just be aware. If you have your sweater, that's totally okay. You can even do this. So one of the things that you can do is if you have your hands up here, you're kind of getting ready to protect yourself, right? Because I'm here, I'm not down here, so they won't. So like, I'm like, oh, now I have to punch. If I'm here, I'm ready to punch. I'm ready for the situation. So if you can have your hands up, holding onto your backpack straps or holding onto your hood. And what you can do is you can start turning your body a little bit, okay? You don't want to be in this, you know, Kung Fu Panda, Karate Kid position. It doesn't work. It's really cool in the movies when he does the kick, but it's not something that works in your everyday life. It's cool, but it's not something you particularly need to know. But so yeah, anyway, so like you want to be in like a comfortable defensive stance. Sorry, I'm gonna take off. It's starting to get hot. Okay, so you want to be in a comfortable defensive stance. So you have your hands up, you're ready. Okay, so you're here. Yeah, you don't have to be like, hoo-ah. It's just here, nice and comfortable. Okay, you can either grab on. Another thing you can do, a lot of people like to cross their arms when they're at the bus stop to give off the impression that, you know, don't approach me because I'm tough. But that's okay. You can do that. The only thing is, if you're here, like my dominant hand is my right hand and I have it tucked in. So I'm taking it out and then striking. But if I have it here or I'm like this, my my dominant hand is right there, ready for action. It's ready to go. Okay, so if I have my right hand up here or on my bicep or just ready to extend if ever I need it, awesome. Okay, another thing, like I'm ambidextrous too, so like I'll switch sides, but something that you could also be aware of, you want your dominant hand on your back hand, on your back side where you have your back leg, just because that way you generate more power because you can twist your body into it. But so one thing that I like to say, distraction, knockout. Okay, so my non-dominant hand gives like my weaker arm, so it gives a weaker punch, and then my backhand comes in and I have a stronger punch. So you just want to be in that place where your dominant hand is ready if ever you need it. Okay, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, jokes? No? Okay, perfect. So yeah, so you just always want to be aware of everything that's going on. You want to be ready for any situation. Okay, so someone has a question. Okay, sorry, it's just Samantha. Never mind. I'm trying to read here. Perfect. Okay, so I actually invite everyone, if you guys want, you guys can totally turn on your camera. If you're still in your pajamas and you still have Cheetos in your hair, don't worry, I won't judge. You don't have to open up your camera. I am definitely one of those students on the Friday morning classes at 8:30 in the morning. There's definitely Cheetos in my hair. So you guys can stand up. Well, let's do like a little warm up too, just so you guys aren't just going like cold turkey into it. So when you just warm up, you can shake off your arms, shake off your legs. I don't know if you guys ever watched Zombieland, but one of the rules is limber up. I enjoy that rule. If you guys, Zombieland double tap? No? Okay. Old cringy movies. So you can just shake it off. Okay. Ready if you guys want. So you want to have your non-dominant leg in front. So I'm going to have my left leg in front and then my dominant leg in the back. Okay. So that way you're just in this, I say it's a defense position, but it's when you're walking, you're still doing it, but like just have that dominant leg in front. Okay. Oh, sorry, non-dominant leg before I confuse you guys. Okay. So you guys can do this from different ways. We're just gonna start with a jab. So our distraction, our weaker side. Okay. So our jab is our left hand. And you want to keep your hands up to protect your face. Okay, because it is one of your assets that you want to protect. So you got hands up, okay, and you're just gonna jab. So you can move around your room. Don't punch the TV or your computer because you might need those. But so just move around, jab, extend that arm all the way. Yeah. So boom. So jab should be with your right hand. I believe Sandra. Yeah, your right hand. Right hand. Your left hand. Your hand that's in front. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So you just want to move with your front hand. Okay. Boom. Nice. Okay. So you just move around. You can jab it out. We can do 10 on my count. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now we're gonna go for that backhand, that cross. Okay. So what you can do, you can also pivot. It does generate more power and it does preserve your knees. So I'm gonna go for that backhand cross. You guys just move around, get comfortable with it, and then we'll do 10 on my count again. So boom, move around, hands up. Yeah, you got it. Okay. All right, so this should be with your right hand now. So your dominant hand. Boom, there we go. Yes, there we go. We did non-dominant, and now we're doing our dominant. Boom. Got it. Okay, you guys ready to do 10 on my count? More or less, yeah? Okay, ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Okay, shake it off, shake it off. Okay, not too bad, right? So nice and simple. So one of the other things is we can do the regular punches. So like where you have your fist closed, make sure your thumb's on the outside, not on the inside. because the rumors are true. You can't break your thumb if you have it on the inside, so you want it on the outside, if you guys see. Well, and you want to keep your wrist straight, because if you have your wrist bent like this, it's not good either. Okay, so you want to keep it as straight as possible. But another strike that's very effective, and it actually preserves your hand from your knuckles and your hand, is actually an open palm strike. Okay, so it's like you're giving a high five, but to someone's chin. Okay, so you're like pushing up. Okay, or you can even, another very sensitive spot is right under the nose. So like right in that sweet spot on the lip. I don't know if ladies, you guys ever been waxed there? I cry every time. Uh-oh. Sorry. I don't know if you guys ever been waxed there. I cry every time, which is super sensitive. Okay, but just getting a nice little strike in there, it hurts. Okay, so you guys can do an upper strike, or if you're the same height, it's just a forward strike, or you're striking up or to the nose. Like it's a very effective strike. Yeah, that would hurt. Perfect. Okay, so you guys can even do it open-handed if that is something that more suits your scenario. Okay, so you're gonna go for open, open. So now we're gonna go 1, 2, or you guys can keep with fists. It's your personal preference. Today is about you guys working on what you're comfortable with, and I'm just gonna tool you with what you can. Okay, so you're just gonna go just jab, cross, and around, or open palm. So now you're gonna go non-dominant, dominant. So left, right. Okay, so left, right. I don't want to confuse you guys too much, so I'm going to use dominant and non-dominant. Bam, bam. Okay, yeah, so you can move around. They come real. If you guys have space, you guys can get crafty with it. Yeah.
We've got a quick question, Jackie, and I don't know if you're going to touch on this later, but someone is asking about elbows. Did you use your elbow to that area?
Yeah, elbows are like, you have a bone right here, and it's very powerful. It does hurt, and it is effective. The only thing is, an elbow, you are getting closer to your attacker. Okay, so that's the only thing. Elbows are very effective. However, you are getting closer to your attacker, so you're getting more into their space. Instead of a straight strike, you are moving away. You do have more distance between you and them. So there's that. But yeah, if you feel like you did a jab and your elbow can finish them off, go for it, right? Because your particular job is to get out of the situation. You're not trying to kill them. Okay, that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to get out of the situation so you can get away. So once they're down, okay, you know, you can give 1 or 2 kicks, but you want to get away from the situation. You're not, your goal isn't to, kill them. It's just hurt them enough to get away. Does that make sense? Everyone's still on deck with that? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, so we're gonna keep going with jab cross. If you want now, you can also add the elbows if that is something that you feel comfortable with. I suggest a rear elbow because that is my more powerful elbow. So you can do that. So you can just bring it up, boom, and down. It's up to you if you want to. If you don't want to, you guys can just keep going with the jab cross. Moving around. Yeah, you guys are doing good. For those of you who have their camera on, keep it up, guys. Those of you who have your camera off, I'm sure you guys are doing awesome too. I just can't see you. There we go. Yeah, just move around. Bam, bam. Nice. Okay. So you guys have a feel for it. It's pretty good, right? Not too bad. Okay. So what I want you guys to do now is now we're gonna do some knees, because knees are like, if ever they do get close to you and they try to grab you and they're bending down, a good knee, no, it does hurt. I'm not gonna say it never hurt nobody, but it does hurt, the other person. Okay. So what we can do, we're just gonna take our back knee and bring it up. Okay, so just bring it up. There you go. Yeah, so just bring it up. There you go. Yeah, you got it. Nice. There we go. Yeah. It's like, another thing you can do is like, it's like you're grabbing onto the shoulders and bringing them down. You can do that as well. Yeah, so just bringing them down. Nice. Yeah, moving around, bringing that knee up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now that you're comfortable with that, I want you guys to incorporate it all together. Okay, so I'm gonna go jab, cross, rear knee. Okay, yeah, go ahead. So jab, cross, rear knee, or you guys can go jab, elbow, rear knee. It's up to you. Yeah, go ahead. Move around, boom, 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 or boom, boom, boom. Yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with. There we go. Nice. You got it. You got it. And then the knee. Good job. Awesome. Okay. So that was really, really good. Really good movement. So these are things that you guys can, because essentially if they're coming in your bubble, it's faster to act than react. Like you guys know, you guys Hicks law, it's action before reaction. It's faster, right? So you guys want to attack before being attacked. So that's what I said about social awareness or situational awareness, is you guys want to be aware of everything going on so you guys can react before being attacked. You guys can act before being attacked instead of reacting. Because if someone punches me first, I am already at a disadvantage, correct? Okay, if I get punched first or I get grabbed first, I am now reacting to what they did. Instead of saying, oh, this guy is kind of creepy, or, this girl is in my space, I need to get them out, you guys can walk away. But if they're still, present or imminent, like if they're still there, before they get you in, like you decide you go to the bathroom and they corner you in the bathroom, it's better to get it out of the way than, wait for them to do something. Because it's self-defense. It's not like, yes, in high school, they're like, oh, did you punch first? It's not good, and you start to fight. But here, it's not, we're starting a fight in high school, or we're starting a fight in the hallways. Here, we're defending ourselves from situations that can happen, correct? So you are allowed to punch first if your life feels threatened. If you feel threatened, you are allowed to react or act before you have to react, and you put yourself in a more vulnerable position. This goes for men and women. So yes, I'm a girl, so I can relate more to what women live through, but I am sure that you guys as well have been in situations where someone has been creepy towards you guys, like they're just too close to you, or they're just not they're not doing something that you are okay with. So you are allowed to react exactly the same way. Okay, so that's the striking aspect. So what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to walk around. If you guys, because I see everyone has like t-shirts on, those of you have your camera, I want you guys to walk around. You guys can have your hands here, and you guys can have your hands here. Make sure again that your dominant hand is on top, so you're ready to strike. Okay, so if you're here, okay, make sure that the hand that's on top is the one that you're comfortable punching with, or that you feel more powerful. So I want you guys to walk around like this, or walk around like this, and just get a feel for it. So you're here, and if you like to have your arms crossed, just make sure that it's on top, okay, not tucked in, because now I have to take it out and then strike. Here, I can just strike. Okay, does that make sense? I want you guys to get a feel for it. So now that you know your basic striking, get a feel for it, walk around, just, yeah, and then you guys can even add knees here. So you're here, boom, strike, 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 and then knees. You guys can mix it up. Okay, so you guys can go jab, jab, cross, and then a knee, or whenever you guys feel like it. Okay, so moving around, just, I like to have my hands here, like, because I have my backpack on a lot of the times, okay, to and from university or college. So I'm here, I'm ready, walking around, and then whenever something clicks, I can be like, okay, boom. And I see that, Sandra, you have a binder in your hand, or a book. Technically, your life is more important than your book or your laptop, so you are allowed to drop it. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there because I saw it on your screen. But if you guys have something in your hand, I'd rather you defend yourself than be like, oh no, my MacBook, that's $1,500. I'm sorry, but your MacBook is replaceable. You are not. Fair enough. Or my psychology book that costs way too much for its own good. I can get a new one. Okay. So feel like, just like if you have something in your hands and like you feel like someone, drop it and go. Okay. Don't feel the need to protect. Like if it's a baby, totally different scenario. Don't drop your baby. But I mean, if you have a book or like a sweater in your hand, your sweater, your book, your MacBook, not important. Drop it. Cool. Fair enough.
And we just have a question here in the chat. How to react if my scarf or clothes are grabbed?
Scarf. That's a very good question. That's something that it's not necessarily something that like. So that's true. So I usually go for hair grab. So if someone grabs my hair, I want to strike. Okay. I don't have a partner, so it's gonna be really weird. But I want you guys to like work your imaginative brain just to kind of understand. I'm gonna go with hair, but if they do the scarf, it's the same concept because they're grabbing your neck from behind. Okay. So the hair, if they're grabbing your hair, I want you to put one hand over, like your hands like this. So you're protecting them from pulling back the hair. So if they grab your hair, you're gonna put one hand, and you're gonna get like, just stop them from pulling back. And then you know that they're behind you. Okay, so you're gonna turn around and you're gonna elbow them into the gut. Okay, so that's where the elbow does come in. This is again more advanced. So I'm here more for basics, and this is, you can also do more training, but I just want to let you guys know that like this is something that can happen. You're right, scarves or hair or your backpack gets pulled. So your best bet is to stop it. Your backpack, technically you can take off your backpack. Okay. I know some people clip it, but you guys can unclip it and take it off, or you guys can turn around, okay, and whip your backpack. You can also do that. It really depends on the situation itself, because no situation is exactly the same, or no situation is perfect. Like I'm explaining like the perfect grab, right? Sometimes we'll get like one or two strands, so you can turn around. It's like, I have a bald spot, but hey, at least I still have like my body to myself, right? So like there's also those kinds of things that could happen. But so if they grab your hair, like a ponytail, especially ladies, if you guys have long hair, or if you guys have man buns, or you guys have dreadlocks, like these are all possible things where they grab the hair, you want to stop them from pulling it back. So you want to grab onto that, okay? And then you can turn around and elbow, okay? And then you guys can do your striking. Okay, your striking will be useful in any situation, okay? Where they get close to you, at least you'll know now, I can jab cross, I can elbow, I can grab onto their shoulders and bring them in for that knee. These are all things that, like, they're gonna be very useful to you if ever this does happen, okay? Does anybody want to practice the hair grab? Or do you guys kind of all understand what I did? You guys all understood what I did? Okay, perfect. Speaking of grabs, that was actually, went on to my next topic was grabs. So another very popular one is, you guys don't see the movies where kids get pushed into lockers, like they get like this. So I'm gonna teach you how to defend from if they grab onto your t-shirt, okay? Because most of the time they'll grab onto you and like, oh, you're coming in, right? So I'm gonna teach you guys how to defend from that. So we're here, okay? So actually what's gonna happen, you're gonna put your hands on their hands. Okay, as silly as it sounds, you're gonna put your hands on this end. This also happens fast. So if you guys, like, I'm teaching it now, but if you guys wanna practice this too, and you'll get faster as you practice it, or you get more years of martial arts, like it'll become more like natural. But for now, just think of, okay, I'm gonna put my hands on the hands. Okay, you guys can do it with me too. I see you guys, well, you guys can do it with me. So I'm gonna put my hands on their hands. Okay, what I'm gonna do is called a pluck. So you know how your thumb is like, if you grab onto the thumb, basically the hand will completely follow. So you're here, you're gonna grab onto the meaty part of the thumb, like right here, okay? You're gonna grab that part, okay? So you're here, you're gonna peel, okay? Right? And so you know how we did our open hand strikes? You're gonna peel and then you're gonna step into them and do those open hand strikes. Well, yeah, you got it, okay? So over here, you can peel and then strike, strike, strike. Okay, that makes sense. So you're putting your hands on top, peel and strike. Okay, and then you guys can again practice what we just did. Strike, 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 grab on, and knee. Right? So guys, practice that. I just want to make sure that I went over everything I wanted to go over for this particular movement. And yeah, you guys keep going. I'm watching. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Awesome. Nice. Okay, yeah. Keep going. A couple more. Okay, awesome. So another thing that I want to mention, okay, I don't know, you guys, I don't have nails, but some of you guys do get fancy nails, which I commend you for because I would never be able to text like that. But kudos to you guys who get the long nails, or you guys just decide to forget to cut your nails, which happens all the time, and so your nails grow. Okay, another thing you can do, because if you're doing an open hand strike, you can grab onto the face and scratch. You can grab, you can eyeball poke too, because you guys. So a lot of the things that you can do, because you have your hands open instead of closed, you guys can grab and pull, okay? I know it sounds very vicious and violent, but again, you're trying to protect yourself, right? You're trying to, sorry, I'm French, so this word might not come out right. Incapacitate. You're trying to make sure that they don't come back at you, okay? So you guys all understand what I'm trying to say, just the word is not coming to me right now, okay? So you're trying to put them down so they can't come back. Again, not trying to kill them, just trying to incapacitate them. Yeah, I said it, I think. Okay. Okay, so you're here, you're doing the strikes, and they're still coming at you pretty, they're pretty big. And then you're here, you grab and you pull down, okay? Or, you poke them in the eyes, okay? You have those options, okay? So you guys can also practice that. So you're here, boom, you grab on, you pull, okay? If they're grabbing onto your neck and not necessarily your t-shirt, what you can do here, because I want to alleviate the pressure, I'm going to tuck in my chin. It's not pretty, okay? It's like those Snapchats you send to your friends, okay? It's not going to be pretty, okay? So you're here, you tuck in, bring your shoulders up, you tense up, okay? And then you do the same thing. It's the exact same thing, but you want to tense up a little bit, okay? Because you want to take that pressure off the neck, okay? So you guys, I know there's a lot of little fine details here and there. So I'm just going to get you guys to practice a little bit more. That way you guys get the hang of it and I'm not just, okay? Because I tend to talk a lot and go all the time. So please let me know if I went a little too much, okay? But for now, just tuck in your chin, okay? You got it. Okay, grab on, peel, boom, 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 eye gouge, grab on, strike. You guys make it your own. Whatever you feel comfortable. If you're not comfortable with eye gouging, that's fine. Just keep striking them in the face. Okay? But you'd be surprised what you're willing to do when your life is in danger. Okay? So practice that muscle memory. Practice what you want to do, because whatever you practice will be what your brain is going to go to. Okay? So go ahead, practice whichever one you feel comfortable with. Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice, Sandra. I see you moving. Nice. Like I said, you were moving earlier on. If you want to do it too, it's up to you. Thank you guys again for putting your camera on. I feel like I'm not talking alone. So yeah, and if you guys are doing it at home, keep it up. You guys are doing awesome. I can't see you, but I know you guys are doing awesome. Okay, so there's that. Another topic that I'd like to go over is multiple attackers. So they're mostly, I'm not going to say most of the time, but I'm going to say there are a lot of times where the person or the main person that wants to attack is not alone. They'll be with a group of buddies, or, you know, they'll be with like one or two, or with a friend. Like it might not be alone. Oh my goodness, what is going on over here? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so you might not be alone, or they might not be alone. So this, again, it's something that there's multiple different things that can happen here. And I don't have enough time to go over everything that can happen. But my best tool for you, or the best advice that I can give you, or the two best things I can give you is, first of all, don't let them be behind you. Because if there's one person in the front and one person in the back, it's not good. Like, even someone who has a lot of experience in martial arts, it's not good. Okay, so you want to be able to face everything that's happening, right? So it could be from you're facing the person and you see them coming behind you, you step around. Okay, so just, again, all about spatial awareness. Okay, you know, like you know that if you're walking, you don't have your earphones in, you have your head up, you're portraying confidence. Okay, you also want to portray, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm walking around like this, okay, because then you're not showing confidence, or that you're ready for action, right? So you're here, you're waiting, and you know 2 blocks down you saw 3 guys hanging out, and they were watching you while you were walking. Okay, this might be possible. Okay, I'm not saying don't walk where there's people, because you walk everywhere there's people, but you, because you were aware, you saw these people over there, and you see that they're still behind you. You can go across the street, put some space between you guys. If they cross, then there's other, like, if they cross, like, you're gonna have to play the zigzag game a little bit, maybe, but you're aware, so you don't want them behind them. If you need to switch directions, you can switch directions. Well, if you need to turn into a corner street, you can turn into a corner street. But I'm just saying, you are aware that they're there, so you don't want them behind you. Okay, and if you cross the street, they're gonna be like, oh, she knows we're here, or oh, he knows we're here, so we can't, so we have to be careful about our next moves. And you kind of want that, because you don't want them behind you, right? The next thing that I want to say is, if you see that these people are there and there are objects, like if you have a chair, put the chair in front. If you have a wall, put a wall between you guys. If you guys can put a distance between you and the multiple people, that's your best bet. Okay, so being aware, not having them behind you, and putting things between you. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about this in particular?
We've got a quick question in the chat, Jackie, and it's not about this in particular, but just self-defense in general. Is it possible that you can get sued if you defend yourself, even though you're trying to protect yourself? So if you hit someone and hurt them, can you get sued, or can you get in trouble for defending yourself?
So that it's I'm not a connoisseur of the law. Like, I don't know every law by hand. But I know that self-defense is important. So it really depends. Like, this is one of those, it depends on the situation, and it depends, like, is it past self-defense or is it self-defense, right? Did you put them down long enough to run away, or did you beat them up so badly that they're in a coma? Like, it is also that. But I don't want to give you guys like a definitive answer, because I'm not 100% certain. Okay, but I'd rather you defend yourself than be in a position where, you know, you're getting beat up. Like, I'd rather you guys like react. Like, I'd rather you guys act and stay safe then put your, like, because you're afraid of getting sued, let yourself be in a situation where you're the one down instead of them. Does that make sense? Like, unfortunately these days, yes, being sued is a very big part of, like, it's a big part of the world and how it works. But I'd rather you know that you're safe than be worried about that. But again, these are things that you can read, and you guys can talk about to police officers and see that particular aspect. I don't feel like I can give you an adequate answer, because I'm not a police officer. I'm not someone who does any, like, I'm not part of the law. So I see someone saying about yelling. Yelling is good. But if you're yelling, like, you guys might want to do this if you guys don't like yelling. But if you're going, ah! Okay, that's like a little girl screaming because her big brother is trying to tag her, right? Because unfortunately, that's like, if I hear, ah! I think it's like my little neighbor that's like running around being chased by mom and dad playing tag. So you want to be, if you're going to yell, you got to be assertive. You got to be like, stop. Okay. I saw some of you guys flinch. I didn't mean to, but you guys got to be stop. Okay. Yeah, that's too. You can also do a yell, here's the fire. The only thing is, if there's no one around and you're yelling, again, like, some people don't open their windows, some people don't open their doors. So yelling can be a first response. But again, if they're in your bubble and you're yelling instead of defending yourself, you're again putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Okay. So yes, yelling is effective. As you guys saw, some of you guys flinched. Yelling is effective. However, it's not the most effective, right? So again, these are all things that can happen, or they're all things that, like, you guys should be aware of. But yelling is not necessarily the most effective thing when someone, grabs your hair, or someone gets into your bubble and they're about to grab you.
Another quick question, Jackie. So are these moves good for smaller people? So if you're shorter, will these type of moves work for shorter people?
Yes, actually. So I'm 5'3.5". So I am technically on the shorter side. And yes, this is more in a sparring scenario. However, when the guy that touched my shoulder at the bus stop, he was taller, definitely taller than me. And I was still able to elbow him in the face as I turned around. I was still able to strike, because you can strike up. You still have power when you strike up. Okay, so these are all effective for smaller people. I'm 5'3". These are also very effective for people who are 6 foot and up. Okay, and Phil, technically, the other person that could be teaching, he is 6 foot something. I know, he's super tall. I look up at him like this, and I'm sure that if I low kicked him in the groin, or I striked him, or I kneed him in the gut, he would definitely be down. I may or may not have done that once upon a time. But that's another story. Okay. But no, yes. So like kneeing in the gut. Another thing, yes, because you're saying that, I don't want you guys to think that you have to be the Karate Kid and strike super high. Yeah, you don't have to strike high. It's not effective. Okay. That kick may have looked really nice. And like, sure, if you got it in the face, you'd be like, oh, what the heck just happened? But it's not as effective as a kick to the groin, or a kick to the knee. You just broke a knee if you kicked them right in the kneecap, right? So actually, if you guys want, you guys can do knees, you guys can do kicks, okay? Below the waist, or at the waist, it's way more effective than a kick to the face. Okay? Because when I kick to the face, a lot more chambering. They have a lot more time to see it and react to it. But if I kick him in the knee, just like that, and I break their knee, game over. Okay. So shorter people, it doesn't matter. Striking works. Kicking works. Kneeing works. The grab works just as well. Okay. Everything works on any size person. Does anybody have any other questions? Because we are nearing the end. This is mostly the question period, I believe, because it's 1:47. So yeah, do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Do you guys want to see anything again? If you guys want, I don't have any jokes today. I think I told them all during my this seminar, but if you guys have any jokes, I'm totally into that as well. Yeah, so go ahead.
I've got a quick question, Jackie. So as a woman, is a lot of the self-defense techniques different from a man, or are they kind of the same? Is there anything specific to a woman that we should know? Or
So all techniques work for everyone, but there are, like, if you get more into the self-defense, well, like I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I do kickboxing, I do all of the martial arts that are like, so I do like more like MMA style, but one of the things is that there are some things, you know, if a man sits on you because, you know, you got to the ground because you got to the ground and they sit on you, that's a situation where, yes, if they're bigger than you, or if they're a man versus a woman, they will have more power. But then again, you do look at the UFC, and I'm not going to say anything, but women strike pretty viciously as well. But no, yeah, so all techniques are applicable to both genders, or are applicable to everybody. Yeah, I shouldn't say both genders, but they're applicable to everybody in every aspect of the world. The other thing is there are some, depending on your size, depending on like your strength, that are better for you. But the ones that I tell you today are universal. Like they're the ones that you work for anybody if you apply it properly, of course. Right? If you throw a flimsy punch, this doesn't work. That's why you gotta mean it. Okay. So yeah, so the one thing is like we hear more about women that are in vulnerable situations. They get grabbed and they don't know what to do. So yes, this is great for women, but there have been cases where men are being grabbed in the streets. Like they are also, this is also applicable to them. So they can use this as well. Yeah. Any other questions?
Hey, we have a question in the chat, Jackie. It says, what would you call a 600 kilogram? Oh, I don't know what that means.
I think it's a joke. Is this a joke?
Oh, it's a joke. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Because I said joke, so I guess it's a joke. Sorry.
It's a joke. Okay, what would you call a 600 kilogram dad one cupcake away from blowing up?
I have no idea.
Pops.
There we go. There's a bit of comedy for the day.
There we go, folks. A bit of comedy. Okay, everyone. Are there any last questions before we wrap up here with Jackie? Any last questions? Don't be shy. From Sandra, thank you, Jackie, and everyone. I would love to see more of these events. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much, Sandra. We hope to have more events with Silver 7. Jackie, do you want to tell the folks what kind of classes you teach specifically and where they could reach you at if they're interested in learning more?
Yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more, we do have a text number that you guys can text, 613-789-0101. Again, 613-789-0101. And we have everything ranging from kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is a ground game. So if someone takes you down to the ground, we also have, so kickboxing is the striking, a lot of the striking that we did today. We have Krav Maga, which is a little bit of a mix of both. So striking, takedown. So that would be also like family martial arts. So if you guys have kids, you guys can also bring them in there. We do have little ninjas programs for kids that are under two and a half to 4. So yeah. So if you guys want to try anything, or you guys think that you guys would be interested in, go ahead and send us a text, and I'll be more than happy to get you started.
Awesome, Jackie. We've got 2 people with their hands raised, so I'm going to ask to unmute the first one so they can ask their question.
Thank you. So this number 617-890 101 is for martial arts or several kinds of martial arts like kickboxing, Krav Maga, and a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can say, hey, I did the Algonquin College self-defense, and I'd be interested in doing more of that style, which is more the Krav Maga style. But if you want to work more on striking and there's a lot of fitness involved, you guys can do that as well. Striking is also a very good component.
So what I want to ask is it possible right now? I mean, actually there's something like some kinds of martial arts can't be learned. We can learn martial art about the martial arts throughout this Zoom class. I mean, is it possible? Or I mean, is it in-person class or
So we
if
have
I
both.
do
We
it?
have the Zoom option right now because of COVID, and we don't want people to feel like they can't. Because there's some people that like to train from home. We have that option as of right now, and then we do have the in-person option where everyone wears masks.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Okay, we've got another question from Lexa. Lexa, I'm just gonna unmute you and you can go ahead and ask a question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just at the beginning, you were talking about the names of these styles. I just wasn't clear on which ones actually teach you how to fight versus the ones that are just kind of like more fitness, you know?
Yeah. So the kickboxing, you do learn your striking. It is a lot very fitness based, but it is striking. However, the Krav Maga, so also like family martial arts, it is a lot of what we did. So like if someone grabs you, if someone decides to take you down, like that is like a little bit like a more universal martial art. And then the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's all like someone takes you down and they start, trying to choke you from the ground, how to get out of it kind of stuff. It's very complicated. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's the best way I can describe it.
Like in terms of from all of those styles, like if you're interested in like basically canceling your gym membership and doing that, but also to benefit like from the fitness aspect, but also being able to protect yourself, like what of all these styles, like what would you recommend, like for somebody, let's say like for myself, if I'd like to do that, like I'm pretty fit, but I'd like to also kind of use my mind, like it doesn't come natural to me, oh, I will elbow you or I will hit you in the face, like that's not natural to me, but I'd like to be able to think that way.
Yeah, so you can do kickboxing. Kickboxing does have the fitness and the striking aspect. The Krav Maga does have fitness, but it's a lot more like grabs and stuff. So you will sweat. I guarantee you will sweat. I sweat every time. And I can say that I've done it for a long time. And no, I like to say I'm fit sometimes, except my McDonald's doesn't say that. But no, anyways. So yeah, no, I consider that a more universal thing. But if you want more fitness and striking, kickboxing is your best bet.
Is it confusing to do both? Like, let's say take a class in Krav Maga and martial arts, or is that too much for someone to process?
You can definitely do both. And it's not that much to process because the kickboxing will intertwine with your Krav Maga.
And sorry, I didn't get your number or where you're located. So if you don't mind repeating that before you leave, just so that way I can just, be able to like see if I can go do that.
Yeah, so it's 613-789-0101. I think Samantha and Bonnie put it in the chat so you can see that. We have a Barrhaven location and a Canada location. If you are situated closer to Algonquin College, the Barrhaven would be your closest because it's on Fellowfield Road.
Okay, sorry, what's the name of it?
Silver 7 Martial Arts. I don't know. Can you see the name?
Okay, so now it's making sense. I kept on seeing Silver 7. I'm like, what is that? I thought it was someone's name or something. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No problem. I think my someone's calling me, so my camera is closing. But as soon as they're done calling me, as long as you can still hear me, that's all that matters. Awesome. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns, jokes? No? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun too. Yeah, I look forward, if ever you guys do another activity like this, I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Bonnie here from the events team, and I'm just going to be doing a quick closing for everyone. And as Jackie has mentioned, we've placed the phone number and also all the contact information with social there in the chat. So feel free to connect with Jackie and Silver 7 Martial Arts after the event. We've also posted the link for all of our recordings. So if anything that Jackie mentioned that you want to rewatch, the recording will be posted in the coming days for this session here. So once again, thank you so much, Jackie. This was super informative. I saw a lot of people taking notes, and I for sure am going to rewatch the recording as well. For anyone that doesn't know, the AC Hub hosts a variety of virtual events every month. For more information on that, we're going to be posting the link in the chat. I know there's a lot of information that was shared with you, but thanks again for everyone that's tuning in. It was a super engaging hour. I can't believe that hour just zoomed by with you, Jackie. Before I knew it, it was like close to 1 o'clock. So thank you so much again, Jackie, for joining us today.
No problem. It was great. It was great being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon ahead. Bye.
Bye, guys.